Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back from the LG offices here in New York City. My name is Axel Toss. I'm joined by Axlive, and you're watching Stars War League Season 3 semifinal match between Parting and Sen. Parting is currently up 2-0. Sen has some work to do. He just went 3 in a row here. And let's get it started on Whirlwind. Can he do it?
We'll find out. Let's get game number 3 started. Honestly, I'm feeling Parting for 3-0. I said that even earlier today.
You said Parting with 3-0?
I think Maro's going to 3-0
You know,
here
you
too.
never told this to me, so I think you're making this up.
I did tell it to you.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. I just feel like Parting is a player who, like, you never get upset against Parting.
Right.
Because he doesn't do anything to, like, oh, if I can figure out.
He's such a nice guy. Like, it's impossible to be upset.
No, you can't. Like,
yeah.
It's just, there's people like that you want to be upset at because you're jealous of their skill or whatever.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. You just can't do it.
Yep. You're right.
Cannot upset Parting.
You can't. Sen is going to try to. He's got to win 3 in a row, and you said 3-0 Parting. But you know what? I'm going to say Sen is going to 3-2.
You think so?
Yep.
We'll see.
He's going to go Nidus in all 3 games, and he will revolutionize ZVP, and he will take out Parting and win $10,000.
I have to tell you something.
What's up?
I've seen probably about 300 games of Sen, I would say.
Uh-huh.
I've never seen him build Nidus. In StarCraft 2. I've seen him build Nidus in StarCraft 1. Does that count?
Yeah.
I've seen him build a decent number of Nidus in StarCraft 1.
Let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
There was a Protoss player in WCS America who was having trouble against Zerg.
Okay.
And then he decided to go for a revolutionary tactic suggested by Axel Toss. This tactic was...
Did he get his name after, like, a singer?
I'm not sure.
But it's a name that could have been, yeah.
This player used Void Race after Axel Toss suggested that he use Void Race.
Did he happen to play for Team Axiom?
Yes. Yes, he did. And then he went on to win. So, hear me now. Nidus will be the next. Nidus will be the next revolutionary tactic, and then Zergs will be on top of the world.
When is Mass Raven's going to be the revolutionary tactic?
Okay, see, that's a great question. Soon. Straylock is kind of leading the charge toward that path.
Yeah, BCs and Ravens are kind of considered the same unit. Like, they're both units. Once you get a bunch, you're like, I win.
Yep.
But
once the maps get a bit bigger,
yeah,
and Straylock keeps showing the fancy stuff, that's possible, and Axlive does too, and keeps talking about it when he commentates.
I will.
Then
there's not even a Terran in this matchup. I'm still talking about it.
Of course, and so I'm gonna say a month and a half.
Yep.
Yes, that's
I'm gonna say
my guess.
3 years.
3 years. Okay.
No. Sorry. I'm gonna say 18 months after Legacy of the Void. So.
Ah, really?
Yeah. So that's gonna be.
No, there's gonna be new Terran fancy units that people are gonna be doing.
Yeah, but no, it's gonna revert to Ravens. Like, that's why I said 18 months afterwards, right?
Okay.
Like, people have all their fun with all their like new Widow Mines or whatever it's gonna be, like that equivalent, right? Then they'll finally, like, once the game kind of slows down a bit and people get really good, they'll finally figure out, oh, all this time we could have won every game if we just made Ravens.
The biggest asset has been a part of us all this time. We just haven't been able to recognize it and use it.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll see.
Interesting theory there. So, in this game so far, we've seen some typing in the chat. That's okay.
You know what we do have here, by the way? We have a 3-hatch or early build before gas, but he's not against a 4G expansion. He's against a gateway expansion. So this can be tricky, and he hasn't identified this yet. But one thing that's why a lot of Zergs like to get the gas and start Zerging speed before their 3rd base against a gateway expansion. One, because first of all, even with the later 3rd, you're still fine in a drone count because the Protoss is going to have about 5 or 6 less probes because the Nexus is slow, the secondary Nexus. So you're okay to expand a little bit later. But then also, if you look at Warp Gate is now done.
Yep.
So with these pylons, without Zerging speed, it's very difficult to deal with this. Now, it's still absolutely doable. In fact, if he can...
was almost a ninja. He can still be a ninja. He's like, if I stand very still, he won't see me.
Oh, see, he moved.
Yep.
As soon as he moved, it was over. But if he can disallow any closer pylons, this one actually isn't that super close. I mean, it's pretty cool.
That's a pretty fancy warp in there.
Yeah, it is pretty fancy. And that's still close enough to be very problematic for Sen.
He can protect his pylon with those ults.
Oh, yeah. And this is the problem. Without Zerging speed, it's so hard to deal with that. Now, there is an Overlord. Yeah,
Mothership Core is coming with this as well.
Yeah,
and
this
is a Zealot that came from home.
22 Zerglings on the way, but they're going to be fighting against 27 Zealots by the time those Zerglings actually close in here. And if the Queen goes down, most of Core will kind of reign over the whole zone.
Oh, this Queen's going to get caught too, I think.
Yeah, this Queen might as well. 3 Queens actually, with more Zerglings on the way, he may be to pull this off. He's got
time. He needs time.
Yeah, oh, great time warp.
There's something to stop time. And that's
slow
not
it down
what,
at least.
That's not what Sen wanted.
Oh no, the Queens almost have transfusions. Oh, he lost the Queens when they're like 3 energy from transfuse. That's huge.
Sen is Parting is so happy with how this is going. He's isolating this third base. The Spine Crawler trying to be pushed forward there from Sen, making more and more lings. But at this point, I mean, Parting is making so many probes behind this.
Yeah, it's almost one of those things where sometimes you're best off of the Zerg just immediately building a hatchery somewhere else and just assuming that one's going to die. Sen's going to try to defend this, and he will maybe. No, I don't know if he's going to clean this up. More Zealots are coming down. He's got to get the pylon. Oh, he gets it. The hatchery does fall, but at least he's able to clean this up so he can immediately rebuild the hatchery. Losing the Queens was a big blow. If you can see, his minerals are really skyrocketing from not having those injects. There's no inject here. There's no inject here right just now. The good news is he can rebuild, I mean, many hatcheries, right?
Sure.
He probably should just build 2 right now. He could even build 3, just take all the bases.
Wow,
yeah,
he didn't lose that many drones then.
No, it's more just the base. He lost 3 Queens
yeah.
and a ton of Zerglings, which could have been drones, right?
He has 900 minerals in the bank, though.
He does, but he's only building 1 hatchery, which is a little bit worrisome. I think from this position, you're almost...
You think there's room to easily just take 2?
Yeah, like yes, you probably can't defend them, but like you have to do something. Maybe like a Tilia-style mass hatchery type play, and then just hope you can hold on to it with like mass speedings could be an approach. Because Parton doesn't have any attack upgrades, but he does have a lot of sentries going forward. He still has this pylon. This one has not yet been spotted. Here's a follow-up attack. 3 gates are done. 4 more are completing. Parton is not messing around, saying, you know what? If I have an advantage early, I know my micro is spectacular. I know you lost your Queens, you missed injects, you're only on 2 axes of production.
Yep, that's good timing.
I can just follow up here with 7 gates of reinforcements. Here's units starting to warp in. Now Stalkers are too fat to warp in across across the pond, which is kind of sad.
They're jealous of their Zealot brethren, but they can shoot further, so they might be happy being a little bit more obese than their friends, because they can stay away.
Spine cars are going down. Here's the second hatchery. That one, of course, is going to be taken out, or maybe not.
He might not even worry about
it.
He might prioritize
I think
busting into the natural.
I mean, if you look at his economy, Partying is not building any more probes. His economy is not bad. In fact, it's still better in sense. But he doesn't really know that. He just wants to make sure he can end the game, because this is a push that is designed to end the game. There's not. You don't plan on transitioning out of this. Sometimes you do, but like the plan is always to try to end the game. Looks like he's gonna maybe just leave 1 Stalker here. No, he's gonna send them all. Trying to go back to natural.
Yeah, bust in the natural.
Yep. He's just waiting for a few more units to warp, and you can see every time he engages, he just shaves off some of the Zerg units. And one of the important things about an attack like this, yes, it's a very heavy pressure. You're committed to do some damage. That doesn't mean you have to just run straight in there, right? Because over time, you actually get stronger as well with all your warp-ins as long as you have a pylon. Sen did a great job picking that off. As long as you have a pylon up, you can continue warping units in.
He might just go right into the natural here, and then force field behind him. Oh wow,
we'll
actually Sen making a lot of units here.
He is. Great force with some partying, but not quite able to trap that many units.
Like, more time here is good for Sen, I think, as long as he's not losing units. Gets more and more roaches on the field. His opponent's up creep.
The hatchery.
Doesn't want to lose that hatchery.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's going to come in. The force field's a little bit lower. More force fields going down.
I would have recalled there, but Party Nice couldn't have micro, doesn't need to. Actually, some good force fields. But again, it's more just to keep him alive, not able to kill off the units. But he does get this hatchery, so now we're 2 base at 2 bases. Zerg, with just slow roaches against a Protoss going to Blink Stalker. So, I mean, it's one of the situations where, Sen kind of corrected the course of his car under road. We just crashed. He's now heading towards another obstacle here, and that's going to be this Blink Stalker attack.
Sure.
That's coming at him, and not having road speed
there's no
is a big problem.
There's no reason for Parting to go home right now.
No, it's recalled. Just wait.
Yep.
He does want to get a warp-in point a little bit closer by the time he gets Blink.
I thought he had a pylon up there, I guess.
They've all gotten killed.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think he ever had one in this zone. He had one like right here, or it was like right around here, and then he had one here.
Yeah, I think a great spot would be behind the mineral line at the 3rd base, right there at the bottom.
Yep, he's probably going to send, it might have sent a warp prism actually. He might not trust the probe across the map.
Got a few force fields.
It's one of those things where like getting the probe to volunteer to cross the map and build pylons.
Yep, it's like Frodo going to Mordor.
Yeah.
It might happen,
but
there's
there's a couple Frodos out there.
Sure.
But if you've got 20 hobbits,
yep,
there is a good chance you might not have a Frodo amongst them. You might have a Samwise, and that's
Sure.
even better, honestly. I would rather have Sam.
No, you gotta have a team. You gotta have.
But like Sam did all the work, really.
Did he?
Yeah. Like every time
Yeah,
anything
that's
went
true,
wrong,
that's true,
Sam
yes.
he did all the work. So
Well, he didn't have the ring. Well, that was his role because the ring wasn't sucking all of his life away.
yeah,
No, it was sucking all of Frodo's life
that's an
away.
excuse.
What is the ring of power? It's like you don't know what's holding you back, but something is all the time.
Oh, great force fields there, actually
Whoa.
cutting off a third of the
Didn't wanna lose
roaches.
Sentries, though.
Yeah, he lost about 3 sentries, but for I think he got 14 roaches there. He's not even lose 1 stalker. Definitely worth losing a couple sentries for that one.
Powerful
wow.
stalkers there.
Yeah. That was a great trade for Party. Now, Party's trying to take a third base. He's actually not. He didn't build a warp pin. He didn't, like we talked about, building a probe or warp prism and continue attack. Instead, he's like, you know what? We're just going to expand the macro out. I know I'm ahead, but I don't know if I'm enough ahead to commit to an attack. If he masses pure speed roach, I might lose into small army battles. But as time goes on, speeders get weaker and weaker. There's the recall.
I think recall to natural, I want to say.
Yep, he's going to try to get out here. And
run, stalker.
this poor little guy. At least he bought some time to get the units all out of the base.
Yep.
Trying to get your units out of the base is actually harder than it looks when you have wolves. Takes a little bit longer. Here we go, though. Sen is up a little bit in supply, but army values are actually favoring Partying quite a bit. Of course, that's because stalkers and sentries are much more expensive per supply than the roach. And Sen is realizing he can't really break in here, but he also knows he has to kill a third base. If he lets the third base up, if you take a stock of things, I mean, there's only a single upgrade here for Sen. Not even starting his second. Partying's working his second, and Partying has blink.
Wow.
Oh, he sees the third nexus and he knows he's dead. So that's the game there. And that's a situation where it can be like,
Jeez.
well, shouldn't you have gone in and tried for engagement? Maybe. So a lot of people would have, but the army values were something like 3,000 resources in Partying's favor, and it's not going to get better for Sen over time. It's only going to get worse. So maybe
he was on 2 bases for so long. All of his investment was into these speed roaches.
And his opponent had like as many blink stalkers.
1 billion blink stalkers.
Yeah, and it was sentries and Zelds. Some more. We had immortals on behind there as well.
Parting's pretty good.
Yeah.
Parting is a wizard.
I would think he's more a warrior than a wizard.
Sure. What about a ninja?
I think he's a warrior.
You think so?
He doesn't like really stealth around and stuff. He just says I'm bigger and stronger.
His micro's pretty technical. Maybe like a rogue.
But warriors are technical. Like warriors can have swords and
warriors are more bruiser. They don't have a lot of mobility.
Dude, you clearly haven't seen like samurais fight.
Oh, see, that'd be a ninja then.
Samurai's not a ninja.
Like a warrior,
Like
I feel like a warrior. You're wearing like a suit of armor, right? You're like this, and you're trying to fight.
But you can be very technical inside a suit of armor.
Suit of armor is just so restrictive. It's about just staying alive and just being in one spot and just like.
He's a flexible warrior. We'll call him a light warrior.
Fair enough.
Anyways, Partying very good. Takes that one down 3-0 over Sen. He's gonna advance to the finals.
Nice.
Where he has a shot at $10,000, and even he's already guaranteed himself a couple thousand. Slices of pizza here.
Sen got a bit of cash too.
Well, oh yeah. Sen top 4 gets.
Is there a
something.
third, fourth?
No.
Okay.
No,
so
I think Sen gets $1,000 for either third or fourth.
Boom.
You both get $1,000. So he gets $1,000. Not too bad, but Partying is going to be playing for a lot more dice in the grand finals.
Partying's like on another level right now, I think.
He is. Oh yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen it yet, watch. I think it was Friday night. I forget what day it was, but whatever the GSL they called the Group of Death around of 16. It had Flash, Partying, Maru, and Kangho. There was a lot of great games in that group. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and Partying's going to the finals. Great job from him. 3-0 over Sen. Next up, we're gonna have Maru versus Hero.
Yes.
Maru versus Hero. It's gonna be sick. Maru, of course, the young Terran player who won WCS Korea, and he's beating people left and right. And
he's looking very good in this season WCS Korea as well.
Yes, he is a tacticianer. He's very good at Starcraft 2. Going up against Hero from Team Liquid. And here from Team Liquid, of course, everyone knows who he is. And guys, that's coming next. It's a best of 5 between Hero and Maru. It will start after a quick break.